Oh fuck, I'm an idiot. I mounted it backwards. Alrighty, so I just fine-tuned everything in terms of the displacement of where the alternator is when it sparks and stuff like that. It's not perfect, but it gets the job done. I probably have to reinforce this whole thing right here because it does sway a little bit because it's just a piece of metal. So the only thing that's making it really not flex is really this thing. So I need to put a plate, maybe an angle bracket. It's sparking, but it's moving too much. I just got the tank, just came in, and there's a spout on here, so I'm deciding if I should just plug that up and have it sit inside. Either just stick it up in there and do that, which is probably a recipe for disaster. Also, I want to bring this up too, as well as that I don't have any relatively experience in building engines, so I'm just kind of winging it in terms of understanding how the original motor was built, because I do not want to use something this big, especially with a trigger, and this has its own gas tank built into it, so it's pretty cumbersome. So I'm just trying to fit it as small as I can into this little thing. Alright, and I have the gas tank fitted. I basically heated it up because it's ABS plastic. So ABS plastic, you know, you can be very pliable with it. So I pretty much heated it with a torch and then pinched it with a needle nose plier. Alright, so just mounted the mounting bracket for the gas tank. Just gonna like mount it through this hole right here. Come on. Alrighty then, so what I've done off camera is pretty much weld cut a piece of 12-inch length, and this is about 11 inches in length since this tubing is about 1 inch thick. And then so it's going to be a 12 by 12 square around. So I'm just going to tack weld these and just see if placements work and just see the entire thing up. Okay, so everything I did so far, what off camera, essentially, if I remember, was that I was welding this two pieces together to mount the engine, and I mount this 90-degree piece right here. Don't look at the weld, it's really awful. But this is one of the bearings that I'm using. This is I think this is rated for 5/8. No, this is for 1/2 inch. I think, yeah, it's 1 inch bearing. This is 5/8 bearing, which is a lot bigger compared to this bearing size. So this is for the axle of the wheels that's going to be powering with these. Of course, this is not going to be very powerful, but it is just something that makes a lot of noise. It can go technically 25 miles per hour down the road. This is one of the sprockets. So this is a 20 teeth. Another one should be coming in as a 10 teeth. Also, as well as there's a sprocket that I'm going to be welding onto the clutch itself. I was told this thing right here wasn't necessarily needed because this engine itself doesn't need to be constantly lubricated with oil. So I think that's a good thing that I don't have to have this in there, because that's also one of the concerns of trying to weld a sprocket down into that clutch area right here, if I can help it. Other than that, I might have to grind a little bit and then weld it on there, of course. But if I can do that, that just frees me some space as well for the clutch. I was hoping this clutch wasn't necessarily a backwards clutch. I didn't expect that when I first got it, so that was kind of a dilemma. So I'm going to be mounting another pillar of 90 degrees onto this same square as the way it is. So to be just sitting like that, essentially. And so this sprocket would be in the middle, hooked up to this sprocket as an idle gear. This will be rotating. Technically, if this was 2000 RPM, this would be rotating in 1 to 5. 2000 divided by 5 is 400 miles RPM, sorry. And then 400, and you have a 10 gear that's going to be mounted together with this sprocket across. That's going to be a 10 teeth sprocket, and that 10 teeth sprocket is going to go to this 20 teeth sprocket, which is a 1 to 2. So 1 to 2, 400 divided by 2 is 200 RPMs. 200 RPMs technically out of 4 inch diameter, or it's more like 100 millimeter. I don't know specifically the accuracy, but I'm just going to say 4 because, you know, US. And this is going to be rotating at this with 2000 RPM. It should go technically at 2.31 miles per hour or 2.34 miles per hour at the rotation from this end and this end. So you measure by the circumference, and this circumference comes to no, that's not right, about 1 foot almost, pretty much. And so yeah, and everything else should be coming in within this week on Wednesday. So right now this is going to be like probably 2 days from now until I can start actually putting things together. Other than that, I got this right here. I'm going to use as a steering rack. I'm not going to use a single wheel, I think, because one is just because the stability of a scooter, you know, when you ride down the road, it kind of wobbles like a bike if you're going too fast, you know. I don't know, if you just YouTube a video of motorcycle wobbles, it is frighteningly scary, so I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is that I'm going to try to see if that works. Maybe. If not, I'll try to use a Ackerman steering. I'm not sure if that's the accurate thing that's called, but essentially that's what it is with a conventional like old Model T Fords that they had when they initially started. And so it's just 2 wheels, of course, conventionally in the front, and then you have I don't know, it's a pivot thing that's called the Ackerman theory, and it pivots to the end of the center of your axis, or your rear axle. I don't know. Anyways, I'll see you guys later, and hopefully that'll be pretty much it, and you'll see you guys within a few days compiling this video. All right.